Free donuts. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, maybe that wasn't a good idea. Hello everybody and welcome back to Redstone for Beginners, and in this episode we're going to be taking a little bit of a closer look at dispensers. Now, I've already discovered some of dispensers' uses in the first episode of this series, but as you can see with this long line of demos that I've got set up here, there are so many things that you can do with a dispenser in Minecraft. It's probably the most useful block in the game in terms of what you can do with it for redstone, for farms, anything like that. So to start off with, a quick recap of some of the uses I've already taught you. We already know that the dispenser, if you fill it up with arrows, it will fire them out as if you shot them from a bow. And this will work with any type of arrow, tipped arrows, spectral arrows, anything like that. Any splash potion or lingering potion can be shot out of a dispenser like that. Fire charges can be launched from a dispenser, which is great for making weapons, things like that. Now, firework rockets can be fired out of dispensers too, which make for some great automatic firework displays. As you can see, these both have firework rockets, and these can be pointing up or horizontally, and they fire out the rockets like that. So, these two dispensers here both contain a water bucket and a lava bucket, respectively. Now, if I power them, they will actually dispense the water and lava. It's as if I've actually placed that in the world with a water or a lava bucket. And you notice it's left the empty bucket in the dispenser. And when I power it a second time, it will scoop them both back up. So there's our water bucket and our lava bucket, like that. Now for this next demo, I'm going to need some seeds because we can actually put bone meal in dispensers. So if I place some seeds on this farmland right here, there's the bone meal in my dispenser. Every time I power it, it's as if I'm using bone meal on this crop. And this works with any crop, carrots, potatoes, or anything that you can grow that will respond to bone meal. So things like trees will work as well. If you place a flint and steel in a dispenser, then that will light the block that it's pointing at. So I've got some netherrack here, so when I power it, it will light it up, and that will never go out because it is netherrack. This will also work with campfires. So I've got a campfire here. Again, there's my flint and steel, and I can light my campfire. Now, shulker boxes. If you place a shulker box in a dispenser and power the dispenser, it will actually place it on the block that it's facing, like that. The similar sort of thing can be done with a minecart. So I've got a rail here. There's some minecarts in the dispenser. When I power it, it places it on the track just like that. Now, this next use is for wither skeleton skulls. Now, you can only do this if you have soul sand in a T-shaped formation like that. In other words, if you want to summon the wither, which I'm not going to do because I'm not going to ruin my creative world. But as you can see, there's some wither skeleton skulls in this dispenser. And if I power it, it places it on the soul sand like that. So you can make an automatic wither spawning machine if you would like. But again, this only works if you have the soul sand in the correct shape. Now, I've already talked to you about this, but just to reiterate, if I have shears in a dispenser like this, and it's facing a sheep, when I power it, it will shear the sheep for me. Another use of dispensers is if you put bottles, empty glass bottles in a dispenser, and it's facing a water source, when I power it, it will fill it up with water, and it will go directly in the inventory of the dispenser like that. Pretty useful. Now, you may have noticed some bees flying around in my world. That's because I've spawned them in for their hives and their nests, because they are another type of block that we can use a dispenser for. So first, if you want a bottle of honey, I've got a beehive here and a dispenser facing it, filled with empty glass bottles. And if I power it and check in my dispenser, you'll see it's filled up one of those glass bottles with a honey bottle. And remember, I can only do this if the bees have created enough honey. You could also do the same thing, this is with a nest or a hive, with honeycomb. but this time you'll need some shears. You see I've got some shears in the dispenser there, and if I power it, it's given me some honeycomb right there. The other thing a dispenser could do is it can equip items onto players or entities. So I've got a villager here, and if I look in this dispenser, I've got a player head. Now if I power this dispenser, hey presto, the villager is wearing a player head. Now this works for any type of armor, anything you can wear, it'll also apply to mobs. So for example, you could put a saddle onto a horse. And related to that, very useful is equipping your own armor. So if I have 4 dispensers like this, each containing an armor piece, there's actually one underneath this pressure plate as well. Now it doesn't matter which armor piece is in which, when I walk into this pressure plate, it's going to equip my diamond armor like that. And that brings us to the end of this episode. Thank you very much for watching. Please click like if you enjoyed or if you found this useful. Subscribe if you really liked it. And I'll see you in the next video.